Hey, everybody. This is the beginning of week 6. Well, it's Sunday before the beginning of week 6. This video is coming a little bit later because you have nothing due tomorrow. We're in the midst of writing an essay, and I hope that you're starting to think about that. What I want to do really quickly is talk about the week 6 and maybe even some of the week 7 stuff. I'm going to guide you through the process of using Google Docs if you're unfamiliar with it. And I'm going to reassert once again. That's doubly reasserting twice. That you really should check out some of the videos that I've been doing on ways to do rhetorical analysis and ways to think about how to do this paper. I trimmed my beard, got rid of it. March 1st is something of an anniversary, I suppose, for the pandemic that we've been in. And you know, it's going to start to get hot in Chico, and you need to get to, this is where I was today on the Bloody Pin Trail. I got to move so you can see Bloody Pin Trail right there is a fun place to be. I usually go up to the Green Gate, that is 10 Mile Road, and I go left on Guardians, and I take Guardians all the way to Bloody Pin Trail. This is a hiking trail or a mountain biking trail, and I've done it both ways. Very fun. Go down Bloody Pin Trail, get to Annie B's Trail, go right, find yourself back on 10 Mile House Road. Wonderful, like 4 mile-ish, maybe 3.5 mile hike that just shows you all of the parts of Bidwell Park that you wouldn't otherwise see. All right, good to get outdoors. So let me share my screen really quickly and I'll walk you through a couple of things. So what we have is week 6. You will notice that due Wednesday is a complete but not done draft. That'd be a little confusing if I saw that. If I heard that for the first time, complete, done, they seem like synonyms for each other. But what I'm talking about is I want a beginning, a middle, and an end to your paper. There may be a whole bunch of stuff that you still need to do in this draft, but what's really important to me is that you have enough to work with. It is not just in bullet points. Well, you may have some bullet points. You may have some sections where you go add content here, but what I'm talking about is that you have not just the structure, but some of the flesh on the bones of your essay, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, like I said. So I'm going to collect all of these drafts in Google Docs. I will know who has not watched this video if you email me a paper in Microsoft Word, or much worse, dot pages. I do not want papers of that ilk. I want them in Google Docs, and I'm hoping, since most of you are juniors and seniors, that you've run into a class where Google Docs was used before, or you're starting to use Google Docs on your own. If you haven't, though, here is how that process works. Remember, Google Docs starts in Wildcat Mail, which is Gmail. If I get into Gmail and I've already logged myself in, so I'm taken immediately to that screen, you will see, holy moly, look at all that stuff. That very quickly, I can go to my Google Docs. Even better, I can go to Google Drive. And I hope you see how I'm doing this. I'm going to the cheese grater in the top right corner, and I'm accessing documents in that way. So when I land in Drive, and that's really probably the best way to go, you'll notice that what I can do is I can begin a draft. Let's just say I want to begin some kind of Google Doc. You'll notice if you haven't used Google Docs before or Google Drive that what is presented to you is what's called a kind of a WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get. It does not have 1,000 tools like Microsoft Word does. But what's great about Google Docs, of course, is that when you share a paper with me or with anybody else, you can continue to make changes to it because the paper is shared in the cloud. Anyone who has access to it can access it at whatever stage it is. So what's great about that, of course, is that it's not a fixed document. It is one where you can continue to revise up until the moment that I read it and give you some commentary. And I'll expect that you do some revising of that draft after I have looked at it. So that's something to consider as well. My untitled document is just called 338 paper document. And I've put in a whole bunch of words in that way. And my computer is pretty slow today. If I want to share that draft with someone, then what I do is I open a screen right here that gives me a series of options. Now, this is a private document. No one can access this document but me at this point, right? But if I want to share this document with someone else, then I have to change the sharing permissions using this form. So let's just say I want to change the link to anyone in CSU Chico, or frankly, anyone with the link. Then whoever has the link can open the document and either view it or just comment on it or edit it. So you've seen what I've done here. I think the best thing for you to do is to change it to anyone with the link can edit. Secondarily, anyone can comment. I need to be able to comment because when I read your draft, I'm going to offer you some comments as I go through your draft. As I read it, I'm going to respond to it like a reader would, and then give you some hints, tips, and suggestions on ways to revise, right? So when I copy that link then what I have done is I have enabled a process where I can go to Currents, to the Currents community, and I can take it into my English 338 W/01 section or /02 section, and I can leave it for other people to comment on. That's going to be the beginning of this process. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing right there. We'll come back over here with bloody pen. Bloody. I can't do that because, you know, I've done it. Oh, there, bloody pen. And once again, what I'll do is I will call attention to the ideas that we are thinking about at this particular stage. You are choosing an article that you think has some rhetoric in it. Of course, everything has rhetoric in it. That's my field's assumption about the world, is that everything is rhetorical. But you're choosing an article or a text or a social movement artifact or some kind of actual live demonstration or a video of some kind or a meme. I don't know about a meme. Not enough material to work with. Well, talk to me about this. And you are thinking it through using one of the terms that we have talked about so far in this class. Now, how do you make that work, right? Perhaps the best thing to do is to think about, well, what are the rhetorical terms that we've talked about so far that interest you the most? Is it logos? Is it ethos? Is it stereotyping or typecasting? Is there a framing argument that you want to make? Or maybe even, since we just talked about definitions, a definitional argument. Take that to some kind of environmental issue that you care about and find yourself an article where someone is arguing for a different state of being on that environmental issue. Someone has said we need to continue to drill for gas and oil, or we need to stop drilling for gas and oil. Someone is saying we need more infrastructure support or more tax breaks for solar panels. Someone is saying we need fewer of those things. Someone is arguing for a change in mindset or for us to lock in and return to an earlier era. It really is up to you. So think about the issues that you care about. the things that really kind of set your teeth on edge or really get your blood flowing, whatever it turns out to be, I'm hoping what you can do is then find a video or a text or an artifact, what we're calling a test object, to do some rhetorical analysis on. Then what you do is you write a paper illustrating not only that you know how to use that particular term by calling out various parts of the argument and actually quoting from that text in some way, but that you can use that kind of rhetorical analysis in order to reach conclusions about environmental justice, environmental rhetoric, about the prospects for persuading people to think differently about the world that we live in, right? So what does that mean? Screen share once again. Oh my gosh, I always do that. So what does that mean then? Moving forward, I want by Wednesday to receive in currents a complete but not done draft of this rhetorical analysis essay. On Monday, I will build some submission guidelines for you and I will email them to you. I will also guide you through a process of how to conduct, not duct, a peer review. So this week we'll be turning in a draft in Google Currents, and next week we'll be conducting peer review. I hope this goes well. I haven't done it like this before, but of course I haven't taught during a pandemic before. When I share this video, I'm hoping that I will have built another video guiding you through other aspects of the process. And through this 2-week period, this week coming up and next week, I'm hoping you're a lot clearer on the kinds of ways in which we can engage in rhetorical analysis. Okay, thank you.